All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the We Grow Together, No Agent Left Behind mastermind that we do every week at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern to give back value to agents like you. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, please drop a comment, reach out. If you ever want to join this mastermind, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to send you a link and you can join the mastermind on Mondays. I'm got a special guest, guys. He reached out to me, and I'm so glad that he reached out to me to tell me that he would love to do a training on his goal setting. And what a better time to do it right after Thanksgiving, heading into the new year. Is none other than one of my really good friends out of the Houston, Texas area, runs the Bolin Group. He's a real estate agent. He's an amazing guy, amazing father, an amazing person. That's none other than Mr. Jace Bolin. Jace, I'm going to hand the call over to you. You have lots of realtors on here that want to learn for some goal setting.
Awesome, Matt. Thanks. Appreciate it, brother. I know Thanksgiving, it's hard getting back on the train, right? After we've had our big turkey dinner and all the family that's been involved. But yeah, you're right. This is a great time to set our goals for the following year. And hopefully, your goals were hit for this year. I do see a lot of people on here that I know that I met last One Real event, and happy to see you guys again. We definitely need to get together more often. We had a blast over there, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And actually in the chat, I've just shared the Google Doc here for what we're going to go over. And we did this last year and going to continue to keep doing it and continue to keep add to it. So at any point, if anybody has anything that wants a little more clarification on, or if you've got something to add to that, like just feel free to jump in. This is an open discussion here. But let me go ahead and pull this up. So this is goal setting here. This is a Google Doc that we've come up with, and it's just a compilation of a bunch of different goal settings. But it not only is a worksheet that you can fill out and keep in front of you and keep track of your transactions and your goals throughout the year, but it's actually got a formula in it to it as well. And I think that that's the big part of goal setting. If we've just got, hey, I want to make $1 million a year, well, that's great, but what's your plan of attack? How are you going to achieve that? So this breaks down. So if you guys, you got a printer, you want to use your PDF filler or whatever you've got, but feel free to fill this out. That's all for you. But we're going to start off with just the definition of success. Everyone's definition is different. Now, I'd love for you to fill this out without going to Google and going to search, definition of success, because everyone's definition is different. So write down what that means to you. And obviously with this year coming to an end, we're full force into the next year. I know that typically, and we just talked about this in our meeting, that typically this time of year is the slow period, right? Most real estate agents, especially agents who've been doing this forever, will tell you that this is the slower time. But if we stay consistent, and especially with this formula that we've got here, we're going to ensure that we've got business year round. And that's very important to most of us, right? Unless you like to take off the last part of the year. I wish I was in Daytona Beach, because that's awesome. Veronica, I'd love to be there. I'm sure it's beautiful. But we'll go through this process pretty easy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make top 10 business goals, right? It's pretty easy. And I'll go in and delete all this and resave it. You have a co-host there, Matt? Sorry.
Yeah, I do, buddy. I'm taking care of people.
Okay.
You're
cool.
good.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to break it down. Here's some examples you can use. Don't use these examples unless that's what your goals are. But, if it's earn $100,000, develop some sort of new lead generation pillar, work less than 40 hours a week, work more than 40 hours a week, sell X amount of homes, whatever it is. So take your time, really think about this, but put 10 goals that you want for the next year, right? So now that you've got your top 10 list, it's time to put them in order of importance. So 1 through 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the least important, but it's still important. And then that's going to be called our game changer. And that's going to be, these are the game changer goals. And then that's the 3 top goals of the list that you want to accomplish and be implemented like immediately. Right? So we're going to start with number 1 and work on it until it's accomplished or implemented into the business. So if your number one goal is income, you will work to drive its results with your targets, your now goals, and your daily activities. So we're going to break this down, but on an income goal, you're gonna want to break things down individually on how to earn that, not just, hey, I want $10. Again, so if we list these game changer goals, and here's just 3 examples here: $100,000 GCI, lead generating, sell 20 plus homes. These are all just examples, okay? But we're going to mix one clearly defined goal with 3 solid reasons why we want to achieve it. So not only the goal, but why do we want that goal? Why do we want to accomplish that? Toss in 5 specific actions you're going to take along with these 3 target dates for completion, and you'll have a starting formula. So if it's $100,000 is the goal, our why is going to be maybe financial freedom, or provide a better life for my family, go on more vacations, right? And then the actions in order to achieve that is going to be, I'm going to have to sell 20 plus homes. I'm going to have to cold call. Maybe I've not done that in my business before. I'm going to have to follow up with all current and past clients. Maybe I've been lacking on that. And again, you can add to that, but we've got the goal, the why, and the actions on how we're going to accomplish that. So same thing. The second goal was lead generating. We're going to, it creates more business, leads to more closings, leads to more opportunities. And then our actions is create a schedule and post social media, maybe, or find a better way to market itself in the right audience. Like, the actions are going to be so important to each goal. Most people just set goals, but they don't know how to achieve it. So by breaking this down and spending the time on it, you're really going to find out, how you're going to be able to achieve that. So goal 3, sell 20 plus homes, help families achieve the American dream, creates future business, helps build your referral database. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to have to prospect for X amount of hours. I'm going to have to maybe attend more networking events, maybe meet other agents and get that referral business. Whatever your actions are, you need to put in here. So now that we've got the top 10 business goals and we've got our 3 game changer goals, and you've committed to those game changer goals, next you're going to determine the income goal, which is going to be our formula on what we need to do. So if the income goal next year is based on how much money you want to earn from business over the next year, the average sales price being 200,000, it's a $6,000 commission, at least typically at 3% here in Texas. Obviously that can fluctuate, but and I've got 100 people in my database, then my income goal is 100,000 GCI. Then based on my income goal and the average sales price, I need to sell about 16.6 transactions to meet that goal, right? So if you break it down using the income freedom formula, it's pretty simple. You're going to take the transaction goal that you've got and subtract your database conversion forecast and then multiply it by 0.49. So if you've got 100 people in your database here that you are talking to frequently, not just once a year, hey, I'm a real estate agent. If you know anybody who wants to buy or sell, give me a call. If you're actually having discussions with them, following up with them, trying to be engaged in their activities in their life, they're going to obviously know and trust you. Those are the people you want in your database. Then it says that you're going to get 10% transaction conversion from your database as long as you communicate with them properly. So 100 people in your database should produce 10 transactions per year. Okay, so and if this example, average sales price is 200,000, an average commission per transaction 6,000. So if the income goal for this example is 125, we know we need 21 transactions. So you're going to take the 21 transactions and you're going to subtract 10 from the database, leaving 11 transactions to produce outside of the database. So if you've just been relying on, your sphere of influence to provide you transactions, that's great. But with this formula here, you're going to know that, you need more than that if your goal is higher. So again, only 10% of your transactions, got a call here, but only 10% is what we're saying is typical from your database. Okay, so if you take the 11 and then multiply it by this 0.49 that we talked about, it equals 5.39. We're going to always round that number up. So whatever your number is, in this case, it would be 6. 6 represents the number of people you need to talk to every day based on a 5-day work week. Now, I know a lot of us work more than 5 days. Real estate's a 24/7, so we're always phones are always ringing and we're always working. But on a 5-day business, if you do your prospecting Monday through Friday, you need to talk to at least 6 people a day, right? In order to reach that 125. So here's a worksheet down here that you can break it down. So you're going to close blank amount of transactions to reach your income goal that you've already determined in the page before. And you've got blank amount of people in your database. You're going to produce at least this many transactions from the database, which is 10%. That leaves you producing blank amount of transactions outside of that. So if you take that number of transactions, multiply it by 0.45, that's going to find out how many people you need to talk to, talk to each individual day based on a 5-day work week. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh man, 80% of my business is, through my sphere of influence. Well, that's great. I'm not saying that you can't produce more than that, but we're saying that 10% of your database, and your database is probably huge. I know if I look in my phone, I've got hundreds. I think I'm just shy of 1,000 contacts on my phone. And a lot of those people may be people that will never do business with me, or somebody I met that has nothing to do with real estate in a completely other state that, I'm still going to try to follow up with, but may not ever do any business with me. So we're saying only 10%. So if you go through this, the one that accomplish or implement in your business, and I'm just trying to catch up here, but the big deal on this is once you have all of that broken down from, our top 10 reasons why we're in this industry, basically top 10 business goals, then you've got your income goal, then you've got a goal that breaks it down on what you need to do as far as communicate. It's all up to you, but you need to have in this section, it's the one thing. So what would be the one thing that you feel you need help with, that once accomplished or implement your business will make your life better? Now, most of the time when you first start thinking about goal setting, you may have, I just want to make more money. Now it may be something completely different, right? We need to change something or maybe take something away from our business that we've been doing and spending time on that we didn't need to be doing. I know I can easily get caught up in TikTok, or I can easily get caught up in YouTube. And I know we mentioned YouTube. YouTube is, one of the best platforms there is, but I could easily get caught up on, NBA Hall of Famers and watch highlight videos of them that has nothing to do with being intentional with my business. So, find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But hopefully this sheet will work for you as it has with me. But it's a great tool to keep with you all year round. And what we try to do is break it down per transaction. So for here, if you have on this one 21 transactions, that's just shy of 2 transactions a month. So you know that you need to produce that. So if you're not able to do that, then you need to change up the way that you're communicating with your database and outside of your database. So in here, when we talk about the lead generating platform, I always tell my guys that you need to have at least 4 pillars to your business. If you don't have 4 pillars of lead generation, then you need to find out which ones work and which ones don't work. But if you've got one pillar, let's say, for instance, your sphere of influence, you may need to double down on that, right? If that's where 80% of your business is going, maybe you double down on that so you can produce more transactions out of that pillar. But don't leave the other 3 pillars behind. Find out which ones will get you deals and which ones won't get you deals, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helped you guys out. You got Matt, you kind of looking at it crazy. You got any questions on that?
Yeah. So one of the things, go back up to the why thing, scroll back down to the last.
So we've got 10 business goals. Then we've got the game changer goals, which are just our top 3 that are going to be the most important, because that's going to be the goals that we should for sure concentrate on. Obviously, we want the other 7 to be taken care of as well, but these top 3, they're must. We have to have these, right? So then we've got our whys, why we want to do it, the actions to take in order to achieve these goals. And then we've got the formula for our income for the year. And then we've got the breakdown on how many people that we need to talk to basically per day. And then you could just multiply that, times 4. And that's how many people you need to speak to monthly in order to achieve that.
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Right.
That's
there.
it.
The one thing is, okay. So the one thing is that your why? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, it's what we want to do that is going to better our life. Like, what is kind of the overall goal, right? What's the one thing that maybe I need to do now or change? Not necessarily a business goal, but to incorporate all of that. So, it can be time blocking. Like, for instance, maybe I'm really, really bad at time blocking and I get carried away watching YouTube, highlight reels of basketball players and football players, or maybe it's not being consistent, or maybe it's a marketing campaign. Like, what is a one thing that you're going to change immediately before really even doing any of this?
Yeah. So what I'd like to say about that, guys, is, you know, a lot of us during the day, including myself, like Jace was saying, there's distractions. Okay. There's tons of distractions that happen. So when you catch yourself with a distraction, what you need to do is you need to realize it. Okay. And know that there's a distraction, and you need to think, is this distraction a money making action? If it is not a money making action, you need to relay back to this, okay, and go, I need to refocus myself. It's kind of like with children. If you have children, like if they're going to do something, you have to divert them if it's something they shouldn't be doing. Like you have to teach them to do that. Well, us as adults, we have to teach ourselves to not go to those distractions. Like, I'm like Jay said, I might post a TikTok video, and then while I'm waiting for it to load up, all of a sudden there's another TikTok, and then I get through this, like maybe it's 5-10 minutes, but I've wasted those 5-10 minutes to get me to the goals that I've written down over here. Is Jacob on the call? Oh, he's not on the call. So I'm going to share something that Jacob shared with me, which Jacob is very much like Jace, very, very organized, does exactly. If you tell him what to do, he's going to do it. Right. So he shared with me, and he couldn't be on the call because he's showing a house. Let me share this with you. Like, his sheet that you have right there is fantastic, but there are some people that need, like myself, that need a little bit more simplified, right? Okay. So some people are detail oriented, and I love that part of it, but look at this. So, and this guy's a machine. Like he is literally, on appointments, for sell by owners, all that type of stuff. So let me just show you this really quick. Let's see if I could share.
Yeah, and I've also got, and maybe this is something that you're going to break down here, but I mean, obviously there's some agents in here that have been doing this industry a lot longer than I have. But what I've done is I've broken it down, because you talk about simplifying the business. There's really like 5 things, really 4, that I do every single day in order to make sure that I am communicating and doing the things that I'm supposed to. Is that kind of what you're about to pull out?
Yeah, so I'll share it with you, but like what
Sure.
I liked about, listen, I love your training and your breakdown. The problem is uh agents need to do it, right? Like they need to have
Right.
a plan. This is kind of like what you have, but you're breaking it down in more depth, which is exactly what you should do, because if you don't know your numbers, numbers don't lie, then it's not going to work, right? If you're just like, hey, I want to make 100 grand a year, or hey, I want to make elite, right? Or hey, I want to whatever, then, and you don't break it down, then you're never going to get there. It's just going to be up in the air floating around. But what Jacob, and I didn't create this doc with him, but he's figured out what his things are that he's going to focus on. And because he came to me and said, Matt, like, I got all these other things, I'm trying to attract agents as well. I'm also trying to do real estate. I'm trying to do listings, all that type of stuff. So he shared this with me this week, and I thought it was pretty cool. So this is his themes for the day, okay, for the days. So Monday he does nurtures, which is in his real estate business. Downline is real. And then he does the utility concierge service. And then on Tuesdays, he's solely focused on for sale by owners, expireds, and geo farms. Like nothing else is getting in his way but those things on on Tuesdays. And Wednesdays, he's geo farming. Okay. Nothing's getting in his way. That's all he's doing all day on that day. And then Thursdays, he's for sale by owners, expireds, geo farm, and nothing's getting in his way. And then Friday, he's focused on attraction, building relationships, and then his utility concierge stuff. And then he also put in here, each rejection is one step closer to a yes. I'm doing this to help others, not myself. So he's setting his mindset as well. They are rejecting my business, not me personally. So he's not taking it personally when he makes the calls. You can't automate relationships. 100 new friends a month. Okay, so he's got this posted in his office space, and this is what he's focusing on, right? So this is a good way to break down what Jace just said based on, you got to know all those things that Jace said, but on a simple sheet that you can look at every day. I wanted to bring that, nothing against your training, Jace, or anything like that. But if you had a simple sheet that broke down all that stuff, and you could even have another sheet with numbers as well, I think that'd be great. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
and
to share that with
this
you.
is just based off of, the actual production, because most people's
Sure.
goals are going to always have income in there. And if you don't
Sure.
know what kind of income you're making, then you're not going to be able to know
Yeah.
how many transactions you need a month.
Yeah.
But I am going to add to that as well. And this is something that I preach a lot. And I'm going to add this to the link, so it should automatically save it. But, if you break down each day, and this is kind of pulling away from the goal setting, but I guess it helps achieve those transactions. If you want the simplistic part of it, and actually I just saved it. So let me share
And
this real quick.
while you're pulling that up, Jace, I want to recommend a book that you guys should all get. I actually learned this from Tim Macy when we first joined Real. I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but this is a
Oh,
100-day
yep.
this is a 100-day goal book. Okay. So in this goal book, you can order it on Amazon. Okay. What I like about it is it's not like you're breaking down a whole yearly goal. You're breaking down what do you want to accomplish in the next 100 days. But inside this book, okay, on the first page right here, I'll just kind of read what it has on the first page each day. Okay. On the first day is what I am grateful for, and you write down what you're grateful for in the morning. And then in every page that you turn, the days go down. So it says right here, in 87 days, I will, whatever that goal I want to accomplish, right? And you write that down every single day. And then to achieve this, I will accomplish these 3 micro goals today, right? And then you have your action plan for the day. Now, that's on one page. Now, in the evening time, you write down, because no matter what's gone through your day, no matter what has gone on, there's something that wonderful has happened. So that in the evening, you write down wonderful things that happened today. It could be that your kid ran up to you and gave you a hug. It doesn't just have to be business, right? But you're training your mind to look at the positive things. And then below that for the evening, what are the 3 struggles I encountered today, right? Like, what are the 3 struggles? Then and you're calling those struggles out so that you can work on those struggles. And then below the struggles, it says possible solutions for these struggles. So now your problem solving is on the struggles that you had today. And then you have below that, it says discipline 1 through 5, overall day 1 through 5. You're going to grade yourself and you're going to circle it. And then at the next below that, it says, I am closer to my goal today than I was yesterday. And you're either going to check yes or no. It's an accountability book as well. And then down below, you put your final thoughts for the day. Great little book. I think it's like less than $10 or whatever, but it's 100-day. You could buy 4 of these for the whole year, and then break those goals down and accomplish that goal in 100 days. So really good book. Keep going, Jace.
Yeah, no, I mean that book's awesome, and that's 100 days. Most people don't think about that, right? And I think you got the other end too, like 5 years, 10 years. I think you could stretch it that way as well. But yeah, I mean the sheet that I pulled up was just formulas for how to break down the business, the number side. I say this all the time. I've got a client of mine that I've helped on a commercial lease who owns a gym, and him starting a gym, he's never done this before, so he's got to know what the membership cost. He's got to know how much equipment he's got to budget for. He's got to know how many members he's got to bring in and what his utilities cost. Without knowing that, you're never going to be profitable. So this is more of the affirmations and the mindset thing. Obviously, is something that is so important. It's not even funny, because mindset is the number one thing I think is most important in real estate. But this is just for the income goals, things like that. Now, it doesn't have to be income goals, But I did add on here, and this is kind of something that I've just had success with. If you've got a list every single day of things you have to do, maybe one of them is, I don't know, create um, a birthday event for my kid on Facebook, right? Well, that kind of obviously becomes really business. I mean, it could be depending on how you do it, but you're going to put that at the last, right? So you're obviously going to do the order of importance, obviously, for all your tasks that you have to be done. But when I break down what I have to do every single day, it doesn't even matter if I'm on vacation or not. I always spend time to try to do at least these 4, 5 things. It's up to you if you want to do the fifth one. I would highly recommend it in case something were to happen to you physically or mentally, at least you've got something to provide for your family or some sort of income coming in. But these money making tasks broken down as simplistic as I could: prospecting, lead follow up, going on qualified appointments, and negotiating contracts. If you ensure to do that, now follow up could be on past clients and sphere and things like that too. But if you do that every single day, you're always going to have people to talk to, and you're always going to have deals coming your direction or coming your way, no matter what time of year it is. So I've added that in there too. If you want to check it out, prospecting, everyone likes different ways to prospect. You can literally Google, and we talk about this all the time. You can Google how to prospect for real estate. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways to prospect. We mentioned earlier that Veronica had really great success with YouTube, with video. I know that Kelly, I don't know if Kelly's in here, but he's had great success with mailers and things like that. So we've all got our different way. You just got to figure out what works and track it. And again, the formula for how many people you need to talk to a day, we then have our own accountability that we plug in on new leads that we've got, how many calls we've made, how many conversations we've had, how many agreements we've signed, how many closings, showings, etc. But hopefully this will help out a little bit as far as what to do while you're, each day trying to get to these, numbers that you're trying to figure out. So at least this will put you on a better guideline, because if you look at your numbers, every month, and you're like, well, crap, I only have one closing when really I need 2 closings this month. Well, are you contacting these 6 people a day, or are you just contacting the same 6 people a day? So that'll help out a little bit in income formula, but that's, as far as the affirmation and mindset stuff, I can go into that, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
training, I think.
And guys, drop in the chat how many people you have in your database. Just drop in the chat how many people you have in your database. Let's see here. Okay, 180, 537.
And I would probably say not necessarily your CRM, right? I would say like your phone. Like, who's in your phone? Who are you messaging or calling every week?
Yeah. Over 200. So Victor, listen, like Melissa, 972, right? So guys, you have to get organized, right? Because the person that is organized with their CRM database, meaning, what do I mean by organized? I mean, it's automated, right? Because like Melissa, you can't talk to 972 people a day. You can't talk Veronica to 1,404. But if you have it automated, you can talk to those people. And here's the deal. Like Jace said before, there's tons. Like Jace, when you got Chime, dude, like how many videos did you watch on Chime, bro? Like
For like 3 months, 3 months straight.
How much did you educate yourself? Listen, I'm just going to tell you guys, like, if you're not doing a money making activity, you need to be educating yourself on something that can create a money making activity, right? So you're, and I'm not saying Melissa or Victor. I know for a fact, Victor, I'm just going to call you out. Your stuff ain't automated. You're missing out on money left and right. But I can do that because I've slept with him. I mean, not in the same bed.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Not in the same bed, but in a hotel room together. But listen, but here's why I'm saying this, guys. Like Victor, somebody like you with contacts, like, hey, I need to update. Like right now is the best time between the next 30 days is to get your my language, your shit right. Because
Right.
if you go into January and you still don't have it updated, you're going to be running around scrambling. You need to get it automated. And if you're like, well, man, I don't know how to do automate, I need a chime training. There's tons of chime training that does way better than anybody I could bring on here. The professionals that use the platform, get it automated and make sure, get organized. Yeah, Jace, Jesse, just get organized. Okay. That's super important. Then once you're organized and you're touching those people, you're going to see more closings out of them. Let's look at David. David, you got 180 people. You can't tell me that out of 180 people that there's not somebody in there that is going to buy a home. The only thing I can tell you is they're either going to buy a home from you because you've been in front of them, or they're going to buy a home from somebody that has been in front of them. So this is a lot of contacts here that you guys have that need to be touched every week, every month, maybe every day, depending on where they're at. Okay. But we got to get organized. So that if you're not organized, that should be one of your goals, is to get organized and get organized before the ball drops in New York. Okay. So that you guys can have a stellar, like right now is the best time to get organized. And the reason I'm harping on this is, guys, in this new market we're in, the agent that is the best educator, the best marketer, and the most organized is going to win, and that takes the most action. The agent that just thinks business is going to come to them like it was coming to them is going to be getting a new job, right? Like I have agents. I reached out to an agent yesterday. She had to get a job at the post office. She's with EXP Realty. She had to get it because business slowed down. Well, guess what? Business slowed down because she's not taking any action. She needs help, right? So get organized and go and take all the market share that agents are leaving behind. Okay. All right. I just wanted to know that because I know that's a big thing for agents, is keeping organized with their stuff. 3,100 plus. We need to be more.
Look at these numbers. I mean, just think about it, 10%, right? So if you've got 10% of that closes, I mean, if you're just looking at just your database, that should be quite a bit. Not to mention if your goal is like showed in the formula, if it's a lot higher than 10% of what your database is, then you need to add another pillar of some sort. I always recommend 4, but you've got at least something else to get other deals from, and tracking that is so important. And if you're not aware, Chime has, if you're not using Chime, I don't know what you're doing because it's awesome, but there is a transactions sheet or section on there that you can upload all your transactions from, so you can stay organized. I know a lot of people use Sisu and things like that, but Chime has a great tracking. There's reporting, there's everything that you need on there, and it's will help you out. Now, one thing I will throw in, Sean Kokoska, I believe, helped create the Bold program at Keller Williams. Never been with Keller Williams, so I don't know. I know he's with EXP now. He does Icon coaching and did his coaching program years ago. But something with your sphere, if you start from A, you pick 2 letters out of the alphabet, A and Z, right? And just pick a day out of the week every Tuesday. You call everybody in your database with those 2, letters of their last name. And if you do that, you're going to touch them about 12 times a year. Pro tip, always go to like Facebook or something like that to see what's been going on in their life. And then you can call them and say, hey, Matt, saw you, your kid just had a birthday, man. How'd that go? Some sort of icebreaker. You don't have to even mention real estate. Real estate is going to come up. They're always going to ask you how things are going, what's been going on with you. More than likely, they've been seeing your social media posts if you've been posting them, but that way you're at least staying on top of it. They say the average touch for a database should be 4. Why not do triple that? I mean, there's no reason to only talk to people 4 times a year. That's crazy.
Yeah. And guys, on the flip side, you got the clients over the last 5 years that you guys have sold, which there's been a lot of them. Okay. I know we all had a lot of them. Okay. Now is the best time to love back on those clients consistently every single month. I just got a text from a client. I sold a house. This is what their text said. I have them in my database. I love on them every month. And when they gave me the address, I was able to look up the address. I forgot their name, right? But I sold them a house in 2018, and they texted me yesterday and said, "Hey, Matt, we would like for you to come over to the house. You sold us our house in 2018. We want to know what our options are to sell." Just a random text, right? But I've been loving back on that client for 2 years. Okay. For 2 years, every month they've gotten a gift from me. So find a gifting service. I've recommended plenty. You guys understand that. Find it, but then use it, right? Like, don't not use it. You know, a lot of you guys will take something and then not use it, not take action on it, right? And Jace will tell me, Jace, you know, I use Client Giant. Jace, you've used Client Giant ever since I introduced it to you. Have you gotten good results off of it?
Yeah, I've gotten great results. I'd like to probably touch base with them more and say, hey, you know, share something like that without sounding, you know, all about me. But if you could get them to share that on social media, that's a huge plus.
Yeah, and so, but there's tons of them out there. Use one, right? And love back on those clients, because somebody told me a long time ago. They said it was actually my wife. She said, Matt, you're great at buying leads, but you know, you forget about all these clients that already trusted you with their house. Like, why aren't you loving back on them? And I was like, well, I already got my commission check. like, you know what I mean? I got my commission check. Like, what do I need to do? Like, you know, and she's like, Matt, if you love back on those clients, then they will come back to you and they will send you referrals and things like that. And that's when I started doing research and I found, you know, Client Giant. So, and there's a video, guys, on my YouTube channel where I actually bring on one of the representatives of Client Giant so you can actually see the interface. But super good there. But yeah, guys, love back on your clients, but then also your database. Here's something that realtors fail at is, do you know it's like takes like 12 touches with a buyer or sometimes follow up with a seller before the transaction even happens, like before anything actually happens. What happens is realtor especially realtors that are on teams, and they get leads given to them that they didn't purchase, right? They didn't purchase, so they have no investment in it. They call them 1-2 times, they don't answer, right? Like, Jesse, how many times have I followed up with you on the healthcare, bro?
You've been on there, bro, and
Exactly.
I love your calendar that you're on. You know,
Yeah,
it's not like you're just thinking about me, but I know you get reminders. But
yeah,
yes,
exactly. So the thing is, it's like, follow up with people like constantly. How many? I mean, you know, I called Edgar this morning just to, you know, wish him a happy, you know, morning. He didn't answer my phone call, but I followed up with him. Right? He was at the gym with his gym buddies. He don't care about his boy Matt and Austin, but that's okay. Like, follow up with your people. I follow up with my people with my organization. Follow up is follow up. Let me ask you this. When you were dating, you know, did you follow up with a girl to go on another date? Absolutely. Did you follow up with a guy to go on a date? Hopefully you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully, you know, but anyways, the point is follow up is just a part of life, right? You know, does my wife follow up with me about doing the dishes? Oh my God. Yes, she does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does she follow with me? Follow up is not a bad word. Okay. It's follow up. All they can do is tell you yes, no, thank you. I'll talk to you later, whatever it is. Follow up, guys. Follow up. All right. Anything else that any of you guys have questions on what we've gone over to today? We got about 15 minutes left. So,
hey, Matt, I don't have a question, but I have a real affordable follow-up I love to share, and I notice agents like it if it's okay if I share it with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's $25. As soon as I close somebody, I put them on this. It's $25 one time. It follows up with them for 5 years. It's called the Personal Marketing Company. I also happen to use their newsletters, which is crazy affordable. I just sent it for a quarter, but if you do nothing else, there's 3 or 4 touches. And then I send everybody a birthday card with $1 scratch off. So there's about 4 touches every client. And that's not my phone calls or anything else, and super cheap.
Yeah. Drop a link. If you got a link, I'd love to see what that is.
I have my green screen on so you can't see it, but they'll send you a nice folder too, and they'll show you all the products like that they have, the newsletter, client follow-ups. They even do some just sold.
Use them, Jay?
So I received this from them. There was another gentleman he's out, I think, New Jersey. He talked about it, and the price is like, I have not used them yet. I know they sent me this and I looked at it and I just kind of set it to the side. But from what I've heard, it's great things. And how long have you been using them, Veronica?
I think about 5-6 years now. I keep myself on it because I like to see, and the quality is amazing. I send myself the newsletter and the 5-year drip. Right away, they get return address labels and some brochure, and then every quarter they get a brochure, and then you can do a newsletter monthly. I just do one quarterly, just as another touch.
Yeah,
It's yeah, there it
here's
is.
their website.
It's super cheap
Yeah, TPM
for $25. Yeah.
$25 one time or $25 every time you send something out?
No, now the newsletter is different, but say you just do one thing only. It's the you might client follow-up. Where's client? Go to client follow-up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, he is.
One time you'll see it 20. People are like 25. I'm like, no, that's what's crazy. It's 20. And like I said, I put myself on it 4 years ago.
How long do they get something from you? Is it 5 years?
5 years, a couple times a year.
Wow.
I just do the first one. I don't do the special house. See, pro client follow-up, 21 high impact mailings over 5 years.
Can you do it?
$25.
Does it just have to be real estate, or can it be for other businesses as well?
That's a good point. Could be. I think it's all serving real estate professionals. You'd have to look. But there's like they have the thank you mailing, Today's Living magazine. Nice. I do that. These are great. I'm telling. And then I do one other thing because I really like that. And I do the newsletter. I chose to do it quarterly. You could do it monthly. It's like $40. I have 200 people on it, I think, every quarter.
Guys, that's game changer. $25 one time, and you can love on somebody for 5 years.
Yeah, you don't even have to do the newsletter. I just throw in the newsletter for $40 extra a quarter.
You can't do that. You can't beat that even with direct mail. I love it.
No, yeah, and it's good quality material. Like I said, I put myself sometimes as a postcard, it's a little newsletter.
I love it.
It's super nice. Yeah, I highly suggest. I love it.
Okay.
You know what's funny is I've actually used on that. It's funny, I use them not even thinking. I forgot where I got them from, but now it just clicked where I got them from here. Is that on the client follow-up, they give you these return address stickers right here, and that sends it to your client. So if they just close, it's already got their new address on it. Like that, it's pretty cool, especially for.
And they're thinking of you every time they use a sticker.
Oh, I love it, man. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Veronica.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Add it to your other one. It'll be even more amazing.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, you add it to
$25.
that. It doesn't cost that much. They're getting something from you. They're getting a gift from you. You know,
And
all of that. Yeah, that's awesome. So
you're welcome.
good. Well, good deal. Does anybody else have any other questions? I believe there was lots of value that was dropped here today. Anybody have any other questions on goal setting or anything we talked about today? Evan looks like his head's tilted. He's like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I'm mute. Nah, yeah, I'm thinking I totally see everything that you're saying about the follow-up. I do a weekly newsletter. Chime gives you the option to put together a pretty cool newsletter through the email feature. And I've just set up a template. And so I'm just doing that. I'm doing the Ricky Carruth method, where you just build your database and send a weekly newsletter every week, and then fill it in with different types of follow-ups in between.
Yeah.
Periodically, so it's all good stuff.
Yeah, your database, guys, is the new gold. It's the gold rush. Like it never throw somebody away. Okay. Like never throw somebody away. Even if they haven't reached back out to you. That's your database.
Everyone's a lead.
Everyone's a lead, and it could be. I think Sharon was saying something in a training the other day, which he did an amazing training. If you guys haven't watched last week's mastermind, Tim Macy's mastermind, Sharon, I don't know his last name. He did an amazing training, and he talked about a client about like not throwing leads away. And he said he just had a client that he had followed up with for 5 years. Okay. 5 years that reached out to him. Believe it or not, people appreciate follow-up. They appreciate it. There's a difference between follow-up and hounding, right? The follow-up, like how many of you guys and gals have gone out and bought a vehicle and you've shopped around? Me, I'm a little bit different. I go and buy it at the first place, but you go and you shop around and nobody, Edgar, you're the same guy, right? Yeah. I buy at the first place. I ain't got time. It's going to take a whole day anyways. But anyways, I know people shop. Yeah. CarMax. Yeah. So how many of you bought a vehicle or shopped for a vehicle and you never got any follow-up, or you did get follow-up from a guy, and because that guy followed up, you went and bought it from him, right? So we all appreciate follow-up. Just follow up. Follow up.
Even if, and especially even if say they went and did a deal with someone like a cold lead and they went and did a transaction with somebody else, it doesn't mean you should write them off, because say something happens a year later, a couple of years later, and they want to do something, the people that are going to stay in touch with them, they're the ones that are going to go to, even though a lot of people that worked with the realtor before, most of them don't end up working with the same realtor if they don't follow up, and a lot of them don't. And so
exactly,
the more successful ones are the ones that stay in touch,
Exactly. Like, have you guys ever gone on a listing appointment and ever wondered, hey, where's the guy that sold you this house 2 years ago? Like, you know what I mean? Where's the guy? Or I'm going to be honest with you, when I went back through my database, when I started filling and loving back on my clients, and I went back and I looked at the tax data, and I noticed that 2 or 3 of my clients sold their house within the last 5 years and didn't use me. That was my fault. God, it hurt, right? How much commission did I leave on the table because I didn't follow up? So, all right, guys, I know this turned into follow-up, but follow-up super important, especially with the goals for next year. It goes right into it. All right, guys. Well, appreciate everybody that jumped on the call. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, real quick, say something else, one more thing. One goal that you could set is a follow-up goal. How many, I don't know if anybody mentioned that before, prior, but a number of follow-ups you want to make, every day or every week, how many follow-ups you want to make for the year, and then breaking it down into, a weekly goal. How many people in my database do I want to set a goal for that week to follow up with?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Yeah, exactly. A daily, and don't just make monthly, make daily, daily goals as well. So, all right, guys, we'll next week, hopefully Veronica will bring her fire on some of her YouTube tips and things like that. But I appreciate you, Jace, for jumping on and giving the training today, man. Would love
somebody's got something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Jace, thank you.
I'm on here if everyone's leaving.
Yeah, just thank you, Jesse Acevedo here. I know we spoke on the phone here from El Paso, Texas, about the one client, but I know I'd seen you on the Zoom, but good to connect with you again, and hopefully something comes out of that lead that was sent. But